After a hiatus of 2 years, the Fast Break is back.
Facts. It's been 2 years.
I think it's been 2 years. I think it's been 2 years.
It's been a year and like 11 months.
Okay.
Yeah, so 2 years.
So just
2
under
years.
2 years.
March 2020. March 2020.
Oh, we got dates.
And
Okay.
right around like towards the end of June, beginning of July. As soon as like Michael Jordan, the last dance. As soon as that podcast or that docuseries ended, it's kind of where we succeeded with like the rest of the episodes. You know, people start to,
I think that was our last argument.
It was.
Yep, we were debating the last dance. You're right. So as you can tell, for those watching us on YouTube right now, we have two members part of the Fast Break that aren't here. Caleb, you can't see him, and Tim, who is out of town, but they'll be back in later dates and podcasts that we got coming up soon. The Fast Break consists of my boy E.
Let's do it. What's good?
J Bird,
Yo.
myself, my boy Caleb. You can hear him via telephone today.
yup. Yeet.
Let's get it. And my boy Tim. Obviously, like I said, he's with his family in Carolina. But let's get this thing going, man. We talking basketball. All of our common loves, man. Everything basketball. So one thing we wanted to do different that me and my boy E actually came up with is kind of like drawing like a raffle of different names that are in the NBA, whether you're part of a coaching staff, a player, front office, it doesn't matter. We're going to pull some names and because we got a lot to talk about.
Always. A lot of our conversations that happen offline always due to somebody bringing up a random topic. So we thought it'd be easier to just keep it that same way. The spontaneity, if that's the word, right?
Yep.
So, and just let it organically flow out like it normally does and try to watch our language, though, at the same time.
Yeah, we're going to try to keep it pure.
We got the preacher here, y'all.
Yeah, facts.
Preach up. Yeah. That's a good thing, though. Hey, Jay Bird, do me a favor.
I was talking about myself, though.
Oh, we know you're talking about yourself.
Yeah, because Mo
we know you're
definitely
talking about yourself.
say some stuff that make me want to sound like Kirk Franklin here. Don't you ever disrespect me.
Yeah, man. All right, so I got the raffle out here. We got a bunch of names in this bowl. We're going to randomly draw a name, and we're going to go from there.
All right. Let's see who we got. Let me get somebody good.
See what it is.
Oh,
Who we got?
got Mr. Man, Ice Trae.
I like Trae Young to me.
like that.
Trae Young.
I like that.
Trae Young.
I like that.
I don't know honestly where to start with him.
All-Star. I'll say
Here we
All-Star.
go with Trae Young.
I don't know more than that, though. I got All-Star. And because he's flashy, but I don't know if flashy is going to win playoff games or get you to the playoffs.
Didn't they make the playoffs?
They made the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I don't know if that wins games.
It's on win games.
I mean, but if you make the playoffs, are you considered a winner?
Well, we had this conversation the other day. It depends on if you get knocked out in the first round. When you get in, does it really matter? You got to the playoffs, but are you getting past the first round?
But they made it past the first round, though.
They did.
Remember?
Past Philly, right?
They
Past
made it to the
Philly.
East Finals, didn't they?
Eastern Finals, yep. They did.
They made it to the East Finals.
I mean, you talking about
So Trae Young's a winner
Trae Young is a winner. I give him that. He is a winner.
for an early career.
We can't claim him a winner. He ain't won nothing.
I mean, he didn't win anything, but making it past, like you said,
Making it past the
second
first round, you are becoming a staple.
But can we say that last year with everything that happened in the East?
What happened in the East? I don't even remember. Other than
I mean, what considers a winner if, like, getting a playoff win and makes you a winner? Are we talking about, like, like him being, like, what, second, third year in the league? Or are we talking about in general when you say winner?
When I'm talking about winner, I'm like, is this something that's going to actually produce, like, Trae himself? Like, is he the piece by himself that's going to get them over that hump? Or is it just, they got there last year because it was a different year
Like
last year?
Atlanta being a free agent destination because Trae Young is there.
But also think about this, though.
Is that what you're saying?
The rules changed. You got to think about that. The NBA changed the rules.
Yeah.
And what did that do? It took away a lot of his opportunities to get to the line.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
But did the rule change really take it away from him, or is that the way it should have been though? Because we all know who's responsible for that and who struggled at the beginning of the season. But the thing about James though is he's been able to readjust though.
He readjusted
over time.
quick.
But is Trae gonna be able to do that? Because we got to remember a lot of his game is free throw line and back. Even though he can get to the cup,
easy.
he's not on Steph's level as getting to the basket. I would say how people have tried to run that narrative though, and Steph actually shoots better layups on the inside than people give him credit for.
Miss layups. I don't care what nobody say. I ain't never seen Steph Curry miss a layup.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So Trae's game is more mid-range 3-point. So does that foul line thing, now that it's straightened up the way it should be, does that hurt him more than it actually helps him? And can he readjust to it?
I think he can readjust.
Small.
I think he can. I mean, that's where the NBA is going. It's going small.
Yeah, it's small, but like Justin saying, it's taking away a lot of his free throw line. Like a lot of his points is at the free throw line. So you got to think he's not working as hard to get them points.
Right.
When he's getting them at the free throw line. That's a layup for him.
I mean, you can think about it like this, though. How many points is he being taken away on the outside? That pump fake. Get your man in the air.
Facts.
Boom.
Well,
foul.
I think, first of all, we need to figure out what is he averaging a game.
I don't know what he's averaging.
You know what I'm saying? Because now it's like
27.5 a game, bro. He almost averaging 28 a game.
So yeah,
and how many of that is coming
like
from
18?
the line?
He getting 9 dimes a game.
How many of those points is coming from the line though?
I'm about to look that up.
Because we know James Harden, more than half of his points.
James was getting about 15 from the line every game.
Right now, he goes to the free throw line probably 6.5 times a game. He's shooting 90%. Year before that, he was at the line 7 times a game. Year before that, he was at 8 times a game. So
That's a lot of
that's
times
only
to go
about a
to the
difference of,
line.
what, 2 or 3 points, and he's still averaging 28.
What's their where they at in the standings right now?
Game at all, whether he getting fouled or not.
Yeah, bro, averaging 28 right now. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
His points, his first year in 2020, he was at 29.6 per game. In 2021, he was at 25, and now he back at 27.5.
So he's getting his numbers.
And he's being consistent.
And he's making more shots. And he's still shooting 45 from 3.
Where are they at in the standings right now? Can you see that? Where are they at in the standings right now?
Ain't the Hawks. I didn't even see them in the top 10. Hold on. I could be.
That's what I'm saying. I'm only saying that because I haven't seen nobody say anything about the Hawks this year, so I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. No highlights, no
The
nothing.
Hawks 12.
Right.
Nobody hasn't seen
You said they're what?
16 wins.
You said they're what?
They 12, bro.
See?
Oh wow.
That's why.
See?
They 12.
We haven't seen anything.
They're not going to the playoffs this season.
That's what I'm saying. Last year was an anomaly. I'm trying to remember everything that happened last year.
They must have just had.
I'm trying to remember everything that happened last year. I can't even remember who they played.
But they were on fire. That whole series with New York.
Yeah.
That series right there. I
That
mean,
was a tough.
Yeah,
that was a tough
that's
series.
That's why people are mistakenly saying Trae Young could be a superstar or rise to that status because what he did in New York.
Yeah.
New York hates him.
Yeah, I'm saying, but you're talking about New York though.
He
Like,
took the bow in New York.
where's New York at this year? That's what I'm saying. Them one hit wonder years. Even though they're my team, if we're being honest, the Heat in the
York
finals
is
in the bubble was just an anomaly. It was an anomaly season for. Not saying we can't get back to Eastern Conference Finals, but that year it was an anomaly for
It
us.
was a fluke.
It was an anomaly. It was an anomaly.
Fluke. I think it was a fluke.
I think when you're saying like the bubble is an anomaly, I'm taking a little bit of undershade of what you're trying to say about Bron and they ring.
No, I'm not saying that at all. I said I said the
I'm
Heat.
hearing you trying to tarnish something like that when you make that statement.
I'm talking about my team, Miami.
Slide.
I'm talking about my team, Miami, though.
Championship they won because you saying the bubble for the Heat was an anomaly.
I said I'm talking about the Miami. Number one, I'm not talking about LeBron. I'm talking about the Heat in the Eastern Conference. I'm saying that it was an anomaly for us. Number one was because we had so many rookie players that were starting. So that was an anomaly during the regular season. I normally don't see us getting that far, but because of the environment, we would have been outside. It wouldn't have been locked in, focused on basketball. So that was an anomaly year for us. Right now, where we see the Heat is more of what we should have been during that time. It's like a team that is rising, solidifying itself. We're going to be in contention for Eastern Conference Finals, but not necessarily saying we're going to make it to the finals. Like, that's what I'm saying. It has nothing to do with LeBron or the Lakers. I'm talking about Miami.
I mean, at that time, Jimmy Butler told y'all himself, he was like, yo, we got some hoopers. So that means if they're in that type of environment, they're playing, bro, that means they were playing basketball. We're not going to say it's like, and I understand what you're saying as far as like where your team should have been, but that was a very good Heat team that battled through some things in the bubble.
Right.
Made them go out and get a guy like Kyle Lowry where they can solidify themselves.
Okay, and then what happened the next year?
Still a free agent destiny. Miami is still a free agent.
Facts. We built that culture. But then what happened next year when we were outside of the bubble?
People were banged up a little bit.
And we were looking like the Heat would normally look in the regular season without the anomaly of the bubble. That's all I was saying.
Tyler Hero tried to do too much in the bubble, exerted so much energy. He had none coming back from the season that he was missing shots with. Duncan Robinson missing shots. You know, it was just a down year, bro. That's what happens to most championship teams. The Lakers won a championship, and we were in the play-in. You know, that's just how it is. They dismantled.
We were in the play-in 2 years ago.
But you're saying
we were in the play-in last year.
Last year.
But that's what we're saying. That's what we're saying though. This stuff is an anomaly though. You're not gonna see a championship Laker team if they're outside of the bubble be in the play-in the next year. It's an anomaly. They played so close together out of the bubble, and then the season started right back. So I kind of don't see your argument. When all I'm saying it was an anomaly because of where we was at. We had young players. They had nothing to do but play basketball. We come outside of the bubble. Everybody's doing everything but playing basketball the same level they was playing when we was in the bubble. This year, everybody's back focused. The Heat look like what they would look like right now. And that's fine because we were developing our young players. So
that man Duncan Robinson,
that was a great development.
He ain't playing right.
Development for them to be in the finals. That don't mean y'all. That's an excuse. Y'all players were good, bro. They had great players at that time, and it was streaky. So
we were good. And we also lost Goran Dragic, but
landed them in the finals. So y'all already were a finals team. Took a year off, came back and got better. Pat Riley is like.
We were not a finals team the year before. What are you talking about?
He's never gonna let y'all be like completely out. Like as far as like, we're completely.
Yeah, because I didn't have Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, we didn't have Jimmy Butler, so I don't know what you were just talking about saying the finals team because we've been out for a while before Jimmy came. That's all I'm saying.
I just don't want that ring that Bron and them got to be.
Look, we know your Lakers fans gonna defend all y'all rings. I was talking about
every ring. I believe what Caleb was saying. Every ring that we got is not just handed to us.
Nobody said it was. I didn't say it was.
Get it. No, I'm just.
Y'all earned every ring. I give it to you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You guys earned every ring.
They earned it.
But you're discrediting your own team.
I didn't discredit my team. I didn't discredit them. I said it was an anomaly. It's just like Toronto in the ring they won. They got to the final. That was an anomaly. You never see Toronto there.
If we're going to call it an anomaly, we need based off of the stretch I believe that Miami has had without even whether seeing the playoffs, let alone seeing the finals, we got to call it a fluke. And the reason why I'm saying that is because we're not used to seeing them get that far prior to that until Bron arrived in Miami, and even before that, the Wade and Shaq era. So everything between that time
was struggling. We were rebuilding.
It's unheard of. So that's not an anomaly. That's just y'all. It's just how did Miami get there?
We were in the playoffs. But the thing is, we were in the playoffs before then. The anomaly was in the bubble. I say we got to the finals. That was the
fluke. That's what we're saying. The fluke is that y'all.
That's not what Caleb is saying at all. Caleb is talking about the Lakers and the Lakers only. He's not talking about Miami.
He's saying what Caleb is saying that
he's saying that I'm discrediting the Lakers ring. I didn't discredit the Lakers.
Y'all.
I'm not discrediting LeBron's ring. I'm not discrediting it. I'm talking about the potential of my team, my Miami Heat franchise, their potential and where we were at in the rebuild. That's what I'm talking about. The Lakers beat us. Yes,
so y'all were rebuilding in the finals.
Just say that. Just say the Lakers beat us, man. Don't give me all that whole bunch of
You're trying to create an argument that wasn't there. Literally, you're trying to create an argument that was never even there. Nobody discredited LeBron at all. I was talking about the Heat and where we are in development. We brought Jimmy Butler over. He had just got there. Bam had just turned into an All-Star. That was unexpected. Nobody thought Bam was going to be an All-Star. That's why I said it was an anomaly.
It was a good year to see everything.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like LeBron earned his ring.
So who we got next?
That's all I wanted to hear. You say that LeBron earned that ring.
Moving on. We gonna move on.
ain't gonna earn this
I tell you what, there's one player that I really want to argue, but we're gonna stay true to this bowl for right now. Elijah, do us the honors, please.
I ain't gonna look.
What we got?
Ooh, who belongs in the GOAT conversation?
Whoo!
KD.
Who belongs in the GOAT conversation?
So are we talking all? We're just talking about GOAT, greatest of all time, no positions, nothing like that. Or do y'all want to?
I think if we narrow it down, then it's gonna get ugly. It's gonna get ugly if we have to narrow it down.
Because you're right though. There's different. It's kind of hard. That question right there is pretty hard.
Yeah.
Mind you, we're not saying who is the GOAT.
Yeah, who's in the conversation?
Who's in the
Who deserves
in the conversation?
So everybody should say who their GOAT is. Who's in their conversations for the GOAT?
Well, I think it's pretty obvious who's.
Oh, should it be 4 or 5?
I want to see what Elijah has to say. Who's in your conversation?
What I have to say, I have Jordan, of course.
No. I only want to hear one player. Who are you defending to be in any type of GOAT
Who
conversation?
am I defending? In the GOAT, I would defend LeBron.
So that's your GOAT player.
If we're talking about if I had to pick a player right now, I'll defend LeBron.
Over every topic.
Because that's a hard conversation. Because I can tell you who's in my conversation.
Who deserves to be in GOAT conversation?
Who's in the conversation? That's all I want to know.
Who I think is in the conversation.
Yes.
Jordan,
Okay.
LeBron, Kobe, Steph. If I'm talking about our era and Steph, those are the 4 that I would say are in the GOAT conversation. And KD, possibly.
Possibly.
KD. Possibly KD.
Possibly.
Oh my God, man, he had to open that.
Possibly.
Caleb, who's in
do
your
that.
GOAT conversation?
If I would say that's from our era, though, like who we seen
It's
play
only
basketball.
three. It's only 3. It's Kobe, Bron, and Jordan. Those are the only 3 that's in my GOAT conversation. I'm not going anybody past that.
Jay Bird. And let's try not to be as unbiased.
I'm not gonna be biased. I'm
possible.
definitely not gonna be biased. Jordan, Kobe.
He want to be biased so bad.
So it's because y'all only picking 3. It's his conversation.
No,
though.
I don't care. I don't care who.
Pick how many you have in
It's
your
just-
conversation.
Nope.
It's really hard.
Who's in your conversation?
Yeah.
I'm going Jordan, Kobe, and KD.
And that's because they're all comparable. Like we can compare each one of them.
I'm talking about.
They have to be able to
comparable
compete.
and impact.
I'm talking about impact,
I'm
definitely.
talking about comparable and
Yep.
impact.
I think it's unanimous with who we all are going to have in our conversation with Jordan.
We're definitely saying Jordan,
Yeah, Jordan's got to be in there.
and we're definitely saying Kobe.
You already know Kobe's in my
Yeah,
conversation.
Kobe's in the conversation.
Who else? Bron, and I think man.
You better not say Giannis.
Oh no.
Okay.
I would. It's a tie for
yeah.
me between Steph in that conversation.
Steph has to be in it. In my opinion, Steph has to be in the conversation.
I mean, Steph changed the game, but
Yeah.
Yeah, he changed
he
it.
changed the game, but
He's changed the game on every level of basketball, not just one.
for kids to shoot threes outside,
Yeah, but
everywhere.
he changed the game on every level, and not only did that, he defeated every expectation that everybody had about Steph coming out of college, that he was not going to make it in the NBA.
Yeah,
and not only
that's
that,
every
then
player though. If you
then
think
he
about
went
into the NBA, like,
It's not the way they was doing
There's
Steph.
a lot of
though.
stories like that though.
Not the way they was doing Steph though. They was straight disrespecting stuff. Then not only that, he's a 2-time he's a 2-time MVP, unanimous.
Unanimous.
He's the leader of a team that breaks Jordan's record.
That's right.
He has broken the 3-point steals record.
That's right.
He has one of the records for the best field goal percentage, 3-point percentage. He has one of those records. Like the dude is literally, people say he can't play defense, but he's in the top of steals every year. So it's like,
You can't even hate on Steph.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's
You really just got to give him
impossible.
his flowers.
He's
Can't hate on Steph.
yeah, like, so I think that's why he's in the conversation with impact. Would I pick him over them? I don't know. Probably not over Bron.
He
but
swindled his way.
but he's in the
this
conversation.
Like
especially this year.
That's
This year, if they get back to the
crazy.
finals this year and happen to win it,
he's bumping
then
up.
then that changes everything because then he really might be the GOAT.
You know what's crazy about Steph, yo? the year that Steph didn't play at all, bro, they were 15 and 50.
Facts.
The other year he came back off the injury. They were 39 and 33,
Facts.
playing for at least a chance at the playoffs. And then he comes back fully healthy, and his team the best in the league with the league's best record.
And Clay is not playing. Let's not forget,
And
Clay is
Clay's
not
still not
playing.
Yeah, Clay and Wiseman sitting out.
Come on, man.
It's crazy.
Dude, Steph, man, he's definitely making an argument, man, because, like, he revolutionized the game.
Steph better than
He
KD.
was that next
Oh,
Here we
I'm
go.
gonna just throw that in
here
there.
we go. Please
Here we
don't
go.
start this, dog.
Man.
We've had so many conversations about this.
generational, bro.
All right, so what player is everybody defending? If we're in this conversation right now, I would defend LeBron because I've done this before and I like doing it. I would defend LeBron as the GOAT.
I'm defending Kobe.
I'm going Kobe.
Like, honestly, man, like, my allegiance and, like, when it comes to basketball,
It's the Kobe.
It's always Kobe. You know what I'm saying? I saw Kobe do things that nobody else could do, you know? I saw things that Kobe do things that many people, like, try to mimic, but they can't do it. Even the GOAT himself, Michael Jordan, said that Kobe was next up.
That Laker
Man,
boy.
I got to go with the predecessor, man, Michael Jordan.
Well, in that conversation, though, I like that you said that Jordan said Kobe was the next up because Jordan has been hating on LeBron low-key since LeBron got into his position.
It don't matter, bro. Michael Jordan, bro, what he was able to do.
He give him his props, but he definitely been hating on him, trying to make sure that nobody can get into that conversation.
It's just, he don't have what Kobe have, bro.
I would say LeBron is the GOAT.
Kobe
One
got
of,
5 rings, bro. Kobe got 5 rings, bro.
I would say one of my defenses of why I would say LeBron it would be the GOAT is how they came in, right? So you have Kobe comes in at 17, LeBron came in at 18, right? Mm-hmm. So they came in two different circumstances. Kobe came in on a team on the Lakers that's already a franchise trying to win championships. Already got players. Not discrediting Kobe's work ethic, anything like that. LeBron literally came into the league on a losing team with no aspirations to get to a championship, no road to get to a championship with any of the players on their roster. And within 3 years, he turns that whole franchise around, literally by himself. And his whole, first 7 years he's there, he literally had nobody on the team.
When you say that Kobe was drafted on a team that was
Had
trying to win championships.
Had championship aspirations. The Lakers, what is the one
every
thing
team, every team has championship
every team has
aspirations.
championship. You know it's different. We just talked about this.
But listen,
with the
though,
Lakers.
listen what I'm saying. The Lakers at that time in '96 were not a championship caliber team. It was still the Bulls. The Bulls were that team that everybody feared.
Okay.
LA was just a
regular team.
It was just a regular team. It was a
regular team.
mediocre team.
Okay. And then what happened?
We were 8th seed, bro.
And then what happened?
8th seed.
Then what happened?
3 years later. 3 years later.
In the league at that time with Phoenix.
Not 3 years. Not 3 years
Yes,
later.
yes,
Who
it
did y'all?
is 3 years
Who
later.
did y'all acquire?
We acquired Shaq, obviously.
When did y'all acquire Shaq?
In what, 97?
97.
98, 97, 98 team. But that don't mean that's an automatic, championship caliber team. We didn't get into 2 years later.
99.
Where did Shaq?
2000 team.
Where did Shaq just leave from in Orlando?
You just answered it. He left Orlando.
What did he just leave from in Orlando? What did he just leave from when he left Orlando?
Orlando
A team
Hardaway.
that was a team that was
Team.
competing
Yep.
for the championship. The Lakers, we
Orlando
just
was
talked.
a good team.
We just talked about this.
Gotcha.
The Lakers is a franchise where all y'all care about is rings. So even if y'all are out of the conversation because of a bad roster for a year or two, y'all usually right back in the conversation not too long after it, because that's what the Lakers is.
Bro, it took us.
That's
bro,
based off
we-
of past
lost, bro, it
as
took us
well.
10 years,
The
bro.
legacy.
When Kobe went down, bro, it took us 10 years just to get back to being a playoff team, bro. What you mean we usually bounce right back? It took us 10 years when we lost in
That's a good point.
2002, we didn't win another ring.
Since that 04 season when we lost to Detroit.
That was 8 years. It was an 8
That was a
year
long
span.
time.
04, that's only 6 years.
Then it was a
That's a
10
long
year
time in the NBA.
ring.
That is a long time.
Man,
Yeah, there's some people that don't get to the
Especially if
finals
you-
at all.
At all.
20
based
years.
off of your
So
legacy.
that's
Still
what I'm
a long
saying.
time, though.
It's a long time, but when we're talking Lakers basket, how many championships do y'all have?
17.
17.
17. Okay.
That's our legacy.
That's a lot.
It is a
what you're
lot.
saying.
Yeah.
I mean, coming from the organization that wins.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
they're an
all they do is
organization
win.
that wins.
I can understand.
Listen, Kobe retiring was number one. Kobe retired. He was still tying y'all books up. He had so much money, so that kind of set y'all back for a while.
Well deserved.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. But look what happened. As soon as all that gets cleared up, y'all start building right back up. Y'all had all the draft picks. Like, y'all had all the young players on the draft picks. Everybody that's about to be a superstar in the NBA in the next 10 years was on the Lakers.
They had a lot of
I
people.
know, and we traded them away, and it's going to
Exactly. So that's all I'm saying about the Lakers. The Lakers is always a championship organization. That's all I'm saying. The Lakers has always been a championship organization. So Kobe gets drafted, and then the next year y'all pick up Shaquille O'Neal. So the Lakers are right back into the championship as we should win the Western Conference because Shaquille O'Neal just went to the Eastern Conference Finals, lost to Jordan, and then he went to the finals the year before and lost to Hakeem. So y'all are right back in the conversation.
Listen what you're missing, though, E.
This is what I'm saying. Kobe and LeBron's entrance into going towards the finals in that journey is entirely different. Kobe had to learn them first 2 years, but he was not carrying the organization by himself.
Nor was he drafted based off the idea like this guy's going to carry us in the future.
It's facts, and that's what I'm saying. That's always been the expectation on LeBron. Coming out of high school, they were already saying, how many more championships is he going to win than Jordan? That was never on Kobe. They never said that to Kobe coming out of high school. That wasn't
Because
even
he wasn't expected.
That wasn't a thought.
Expect that.
That's what I'm saying. LeBron had the pressure since he came in, and he's met every expectation that's been out there. The only thing he hasn't done is won 6 rings.
He's not going to meet the expectation.
The only thing he hasn't done is won 6 rings. He's done stuff that we've never seen.
To be honest with you, he might not even get 5.
He definitely not on y'all team.
I agree 100%, Elijah.
He might not even be on the fifth on really the expectation of passing Kobe, except in points.
That's fine.
That's why I'm defending. That's why I'm defending the GOAT.
So he just passed it, didn't he? He just broke the record, didn't he?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like
36,000 or something like that. Yeah.
He took Cleveland, turned them into a playoff team, gets them to the Eastern Conference Finals, finally gets past a championship team in Detroit, finally beats them, loses to a dynasty Spurs team that was beating everybody at the time, right? He stays in Cleveland, he gets knocked out again, then he goes to Miami. That's when he rings off the 3 straight finals appearances, wins 2, loses the other one. And then he's the finals for 9 straight years? Eight. We can't put it past that. Even though he don't got a ring every year, the level you have to play at to get there
to make it
is crazy. And then look at all the teams he loses to when he's there. Like, he doesn't lose to, like, people try to downplay his losses and stuff, but he's losing to some of the greatest teams of all time. Besides the Dallas team, where everybody loves to bring up, he's losing to teams that are like some of the greatest teams of all time.
Dallas team, by the way, that team was not a slap.
No, Dallas was tough. But I'm saying that people use that in the argument against him. But other than that, he's losing to the Dynasty Golden State.
They were a tough team, but it was
Dynasty
really
Spurs.
No excuse for 3 superstars at that time.
Yeah, they've already come out and said what had happened during that season. Why they lost. They had already said that. They didn't make an excuse. They said it was our fault. They said we was trying to be the villains. That wasn't us. And me and Wade and LeBron both came out and said me and him were looking at each other like who's going to run the show because they were both 2 of the best players in the league.
First of all, Wade knew who was going to run the show.
Stop it. Don't do that.
Wade knew exactly who was going to run the show. Soon as
don't do that.
2010 signee.
Don't do that.
They
No,
hit
they
that
didn't.
stage and they looked left
No,
and
they
he
didn't.
looked right. They was going like this. Wade was like,
No, they didn't, because you forget the year. You forget the
Wade
year
was
before.
over
Wade
here.
was just a scoring
That was the year
champion.
before when
he was just
in
a scoring
Cleveland.
champion. He was just a scoring champion the year before. Wade was in peak form. He was at the top of his form.
Wade has never been better than Braun. Let's get that straight.
You think so?
I still,
He's never been
so?
better than
Yeah, there was a
Bron.
point in time he was better than Bron.
When?
The point
In
time.
high school?
Nah, he was better than Bron.
What year?
I would say from like 08 to 06. He was
08,
better.
06.
He was better than Bron.
06, so you going back to the future.
Well, 09 to 06. 09 to 06.
09 to, you mean 06 to
06,
09.
09.
Yeah, 06, 09. However you want to say it. This is my opinion.
Yeah, that's just your
My opinion.
It's like egregious.
My opinion.
Wayne has never been better than Bron. No part of his career.
My opinion.
High
And
school,
My opinion. All I know is during that time frame when Wade and LeBron competed against each other, it was primetime television every time. They put on the show every single time.
Here we go with the stats.
They were the two,
No, but it was though.
No, because they were the best two players in the East. It was hands down. There was nobody in the East better than LeBron and Dwayne Wade. They were the best two players in the Eastern Conference.
Agreed. And there was no other better player than LeBron.
Wade was not better.
That was my opinion. Wade was a better closer, had more points in the fourth quarter, all that stuff. Wade had it all.
The excitement was Bron coming to Miami. That was the excitement.
Yeah, it was exciting.
No one looked at Wade like, okay, Wade, this is your team.
We're going to go see Flash.
Everybody looked at Wade like
you
it was
taking
We're
over
going to see Braun.
That was not the case at all.
Yes, it was. The excitement was, the two best players in the East just hooked up together.
Not D-Wade in Miami.
Bro, I promise you, I promise you that everybody who came to a D-Wade and Bron game and Bosch game, what did they say? What did they see? All they saw was Bron. Okay, wait, throw it up to Bron. Lob it up to Bron. Fast break. Oh, where's Bron at?
That is a lie. That is a lie.
Goodness.
They came to see LeBron and Wade. They were the two best players in the East, just combined their powers. They came to see both of them play.
You talking about when Bron joined Miami?
Yes.
People go to the game to see Scottie Pippen, or do they go to see Michael Jordan?
Jordan.
Scottie Pippen never ran a team. He never did.
He did take the Bulls to the playoffs, though.
He took them to the playoffs, but he did that what? 1 year, he never had that pressure.
Jordan was gone for 1 year.
He never had that pressure. It's different.
Neither
And then he took Portland versus my Lakers.
So when did D-Wade have that pressure?
D-Wade had it after Shaq and them went down. Right after we won the championship, everybody started getting hurt. The team was his after that point. Everybody started getting hurt after
They did nothing until Bron showed up in 2010.
Bron showed up. It was Bron's show.
Because like normal development, like I'm talking about with my Heat right now,
man, Shaq
we
went
had a
down.
team
We
full of
definitely
rookies.
done.
We had a team full of rookies. LeBron was over there. Wade was over there by himself. It was him and Udonis Haslem. We had a team full of rookies. Mario Chalmers, Michael Beasley. We had rookies. We were drafting rookies.
So
we had lost
championship aspirations went out the window once Shaq went down, right?
When Shaq went down, yeah, he's a big part of the championship.
And then,
but not only that, remember all the players that we won the championship with were all old players. That's what everybody forget. Gary Payton.
We had an old Gary Payton too.
Gary Payton, Antoine Walker, Alonzo Mourning. Half of them retired after they won the championship.
Miami.
Michael Bibby,
who was lethal at that 3-point arc.
he was and he retired.
And he really wasn't old because he didn't. Matter of fact, he went to New York after that.
And did he retire, right?
Yeah, but he still had a lot of fuel left in the tank.
He did not play good at all in New York.
I'm not saying he did, but I'm saying Miami, he was good enough.
Who we talking about?
Mike Bibby.
Mike Bibby.
Somehow we transitioned to Mike Bibby.
I don't know how we got on Mike Bibby.
Yeah, but anyway.
I agree with Elijah's take on LeBron and his argument, because it's kind of hard to argue a guy where he was deemed the chosen one, and he's done everything and even exceeded what people say he wasn't going to do.
Fact.
And he's done it gracefully. You know what I'm saying? He's done it gracefully. So
Okay, he didn't get in trouble.
to be able to see what he's doing now, being able to empower the players.
And he ain't losing no
They call
bums.
Jordan
That's my thing,
selfish.
too.
They call Jordan selfish in a lot of ways. But, it was different from him at a time, because he couldn't do what LeBron is doing now, or Michael Jordan wouldn't be a majority owner of a team in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Jordan wouldn't be in that position if he spoke out like how people kind of knock the GOAT conversation off the court with LeBron and Jordan. It's like Jordan couldn't do what LeBron did as far as about speaking up on racism and different things of that sort, because he wouldn't be an owner in the league.
Jordan was wired different, though, Caleb.
Basketball, Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player to ever touch the court. You know what I'm saying?
You agree with that?
I get your argument for LeBron being
Player, but
You agree with that?
in his layers.
Player of all time.
He said player.
Player-wise, man, they'll never see another
All
Michael
time,
Jordan.
not player.
First
I
Player, I
agree.
say LeBron.
So you're saying Bron's better than Jordan?
Hold on. Greatest of all time.
Greatest basketball player of all time.
Of all time. I feel like there's a difference. I feel like there's
I
a
feel
difference.
like there's a difference as well.
I feel like there's a difference. Greatest of all time, you're thinking about the greatest of all time in NBA history. And I'm saying to myself, I'm thinking of Michael Jordan. When I think about greatest player, when we put player on it, I think about LeBron
how you play the game.
and how he plays the game, how he changed the game.
Hold on, y'all.
That's what I'm thinking
Sit
about.
here and say that Jordan.
It's two. I'm serious. It's two. I feel like it's two different categories. I really do.
I'm trying to get a grasp of concept of the difference between greatest player and greatest of all time. We're talking about basketball.
Oh, say it like this: boxing. Muhammad Ali is the greatest of all time.
We're talking
Yes.
strictly about basketball.
Right, but we're just
an
comparing
analogy.
it, though. Yeah, it's
an
analogy.
analogy.
Yeah.
Analogy. Greatest of all time is Muhammad Ali. He has losses and all that type of stuff. But if you're talking about the greatest fighter, it would have to be Floyd, because Floyd is the way he boxes.
I agree.
He's the most skilled as far as defensive, offensive, how he picks when he's going to attack and all that. It would be Floyd. They're both great, but two different conversations.
Got you. So let's talk about the greatest basketball player
That's what he just said.
of all time. And you're going with Bron.
Going Bron.
Based off of what?
I'm going with Bron based off of, like we talked about, numbers, talked about what he has done in the league, talked about what type of player he is, talk about what he stands for.
All right.
It's more.
That's political. We're talking
political. It's honestly it's both really on the court and off the court. Yeah. I mean that's how I look at it.
Okay, so I'm gonna narrow it down even more. Beyond how swell of a guy you might be, I'm talking about basketball wise, putting that ball in the hoop defensively, team player wise. Who do y'all have as the GOAT?
It's hard for me, man, because
LeBron now we're trying to like.
Yeah, LeBron is changing the conversation for me. I'll be honest. LeBron has changed the conversation for me. Easily, I would say it's Jordan, but I have an argument for LeBron that I feel is really solid. So that's where I'm at with it.
That I agree.
You gotta have that.
That I agree.
I have a solid argument for LeBron. It's not an easy conversation as people try to make it.
It's not.
So with Bron, a lot of times I believe that we see arguments with Bron is like he's a team player. He delivers a message, more acceptant. Jordan, we hear, man, this guy was a butthole. He didn't let Horace Grant eat.
No, I'm not even talking about. I don't care about any that. I don't weigh that.
Yeah, the character is different.
The
Yeah.
charisma is different between the two players. Here we have in the middle is someone who had tenacity, and I'm talking about Kobe. Someone who didn't care about your feelings, or he would relay a message that in a way that you will understand. And I think we overlook that a lot. And he does not get credit for being a villain at times when he needed to uplift it. Like, hey, man, I need you to be tough. And that's why some people, it didn't rub them the right way, and they got up out of there. Smush Parker, Kwame Brown.
Smush.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then you got guys like Pau Gasol who can accept. Because Pau Gasol, let's be honest, he was not an all-star until he got to L.A. He was not an all-star in Memphis. But he became a champion when he linked up with the Mamba. So I feel like Kobe is that guy. Like, yo, he made champions out of people by playing their role, and we overlooked that. Shannon Brown was a nobody, and he was known. The only thing he was known for was his jumping ability. But I paid attention to that corner three that he had, and his defense.
But you can say the same thing about what LeBron did. LeBron did the same thing.
Yes, you can.
At a greater level.
Can.
He done the same thing as well.
You can, but look at the track record that we have. Like Kobe, the conversations are Kobe is not a winner without Shaq, but he defied all those odds when Shaq left.
I don't say that.
I don't say it either, but I hear it.
He was about to play for another three-peat in his career.
Like, Shaq left. Kobe ain't gonna do it again. What pieces?
I never had that.
Again, Pau Gasol's not an all-star until he gets to L.A.
I still don't have Kobe in there.
Kobe Bean Bryant is the GOAT.
I still don't have Kobe in there for the fact of what Justin just said. Like, Kobe did it with some no names for a couple years. LeBron did it his first 8 years in the league.
He didn't make the playoffs until when? And we went to the finals in 2007.
He made the playoffs his second year. He didn't make it the first year. He won Rookie of the Year.
2007 against the Spurs.
Yeah, 2007. Was it 2007?
Yes.
No,
it was 2007 against the Spurs.
Best in the league for years upon years.
Yeah, he's been up there. It's hard, man, because because Kobe, like, he had help. LeBron did not have any help in Cleveland.
When did Kobe have help in that stint?
You just named the help that he
I'm
had.
saying
He had
during that stint when
he had
was
Lamar
not making
Odom,
it.
he had Pau Gasol, he had Ron Artest, he had Derek Fisher. Name the rest of the players.
Ron Artest, man. He had role players.
Name the rest of the players that was on your team.
We're not naming all-stars.
Pau Gasol.
He had the
Lamar
same
Odom.
cards dealt to him as LeBron did.
No, he didn't.
In the second term of his career, yes, he did.
No, he did not. You're see, and even you're
What all-stars did he have, Jay?
You're defeating your own argument because you're saying in the second term of his career. That was the first term.
We all know
of
that
LeBron's
Shaq
career. And he was a rookie. He had no help.
Let's
no
even be
vet.
honest now. In his first half of his career, he only had one other all-star. Shaq. Him and Shaq. Who else is an all-star on that team? Who else is an all-star on the second half of that team with LA?
I'm trying to think.
There's nobody. It's only Kobe. Who else was on it? Who else was in the all-star game? Pau Gasol became an all-star, like I said, because he was made into one. I'll wait.
No.
It's the same cards that Bron was dealt. And here's my conspiracy. I'm gonna sound crazy. I think Kobe I think Bron admires Kobe so much. It's just a conspiracy.
You about to say so.
You notice how LeBron wore 23?
Or 23.
And now he switched to number 6.
Mm-hmm. He did that in Miami.
And he never wore 23 in Miami.
He wore 6 in Miami.
But listen to this.
That's where the
Listen
6
to my
came from.
conspiracy. And I laughed about this. The number 6 on LA jersey kind of looks like the number 8. But Kobe wore number 8 first, and then he switched to 24.
Your conspiracy theory
I
breaks
think
down when you
he
went to
admires
the
him so much as the GOAT.
Pretty wild.
Yeah, that's
pretty
out
wild.
of pocket.
That's
6
pretty
came
wild.
from the move to Miami.
It just looked funny to me. Like, man,
It had nothing to do with Kobe.
Why does that look?
He went to 6 in
looks like
LA.
8.
Why does that look like a number 8?
He went to 6 in LA because he
Are you
said
trying
I wore 6
Are you
in
trying
Miami.
to say something, bro? Like,
Nah,
I want to have the
saying,
same
your
type
role-
of
your
career.
role
This is my
player-
second
Your role
half.
players were still
I
different.
signed 4 years
LA.
in my second half.
I still feel like LeBron had it tougher. The role players were still different. LA is still a high market location. Cleveland is not. You can't get players to come to Cleveland, so you got to work with what you got there. So even if you do get role players, they're not going to ever be on the same level of role players that go to LA because people are not going to go to Cleveland.
I mean, it's kind of hard to say this right here. I mean, I know how his conspiracy thing was pretty wild, but there was a time, though, I did think Bron was chasing Kobe's legacy to go into LA. I did think that. Because when he announced that he was going to LA, I was just like, hold up.
I didn't think so.
You'll never have as many murals in LA.
No, I don't think it. I think him going to LA had nothing to do with chasing Kobe. It had everything to do with what he's going to do for the future. It had nothing to do. But that's what people get confused with LeBron. All of his moves since he went to Miami, where he got more business oriented when he went to Miami. Not saying that had anything to do with the Miami franchise. Just when he went to Miami, he got more business oriented. Ever since then, LeBron. Everything he does is for his legacy as far as what he's building. So going to LA, that was all for him and his family, what they're going to do. That wasn't chasing Kobe. The franchise being there and winning where he has said Kobe is one of his favorite players, and he looked up to Kobe. Winning there, of course, is a caveat, but I don't think he was chasing Kobe's legacy. I don't think that had anything to do with it.
I mean, that's my opinion. I think he
You can't chase somebody's legacy that you can never reach. Kobe was there for 20 years. How can you chase his legacy in LA? It's impossible. Even if you win 5 championships there, you can't catch Kobe's legacy. Kobe was there for 20 years. Mm-hmm. He was a part of the city. LeBron will never be a part of the city the way Kobe was. You can't chase somebody's legacy. That's like somebody going into Miami and then it's no longer Wade County.
That's what I'm saying. Why LA?
Why LA, though?
That's what I always thought about.
I know you said because of business, but what I mean, that's nothing we'll never know.
He's in film.
All the greats come.
He's not only in film, part of a sports agent company, part of a tech company. All of that,
Space Jam.
All of that is in. He owns a production company. You know his show, The Shop, and all that. All this stuff is in L.A. All of this stuff goes together.
He makes millions and millions of dollars. That man can travel anytime.
It don't matter when you want to retire and all your stuff is there. And that's where
film
you
in Akron. I'm sure there are barbershops over there.
There's no you're gonna go where you can maximize your money, right? That's what everybody's gonna do. If you could leave right now and maximize your money in LA, are you staying here?
I don't know if you're gonna maximize because COVID. Everything.
Are you gonna stay here? If you could maximize your money in LA, would you stay here and then do it here
Absolutely.
with millions?
I see what you're saying.
Exactly.
No, I agree with you.
Exactly. I think when you talk about certain players, you can't chase their legacy. Like you can't. It's impossible to chase Kobe's. In my mind, that's me. Nobody can ever catch Kobe's legacy in LA.
Do you think that Kobe was trying to chase Jordan's legacy?
No, I think Kobe was chasing being the greatest ever. Jordan was just
he
in the way of
became
that. Jordan was just in the way of that.
He became that.
But you're not. That's what people say. Chasing your legacy is your own. Accomplishments you can chase, but you can't chase nobody's legacy. That's kind of silly when you break it down like that. Like, because you have your own path.
We all say I want to be like Mike. I mean,
because that's just they phrased it that way, and we all grew up saying it. But when you break it down, and since we're talking about Kobe is the one that said it best. Like, you know when it's your time. I knew when I was done. Like, I knew my body was breaking down. I'm fine with my legacy ending. Right, it's yours. Can't nobody change it, and can't nobody chase it. That's dumb. Accomplishments I can chase. You can't chase legacy.
Kobe's the GOAT. Y'all want to move on to the next name, or what y'all thinking, man?
Justin really wants to defend KD. He just didn't say anything.
Yeah. We're not gonna go there. Not today.
All right, next topic.
Go ahead and draw this one.
But just for clarification, I still have Jordan as the greatest right now, but the conversation is hard for me because I got points for LeBron.
LeBron's career hasn't ended yet.
Yeah.
It's going to end in 2 years.
Don't understand.
I don't think he's ended until Bronny gets to the league.
Like,
Bron 37 right now.
Who's the GOAT with his career still going?
Facts.
Even though he won't play till he's 50. We don't know that.
Who is he, Brett Favre? All right.
He's trying to play with his.
And Caleb, to your point, we got to put a lot of weight on a ring if he wins another one past 37.
Yeah, bro.
You can't look at that ring the same as the rest of them.
Bro, he's not winning.
I feel like I don't think he. I don't know.
I don't think he's winning
because I want him to win LA a ring, but
That's what I'm saying. I'm not a LA fan, but I kind of want him to win a ring because then it's like everybody has to be honest about the conversation if he wins one more. I feel like people.
The only way Bron win a ring is if AD stop being Mr. Glass. We not winning no rings, bro.
please let me pull this name out.
AD is something else, man.
Here we go.
That
Last
boy
name. We're gonna try to wrap this thing up.
Oh my gosh!
How ironic!
The devil.
You got to pick again.
So, yeah, I gotta pick again because we just drew a name and it is LeBron
We
James.
just talked about him.
Yeah. All right. Last name. Here we go. All right. Damian Lillard.
Dame is my boy because this is the story. I was in the military at the time, and I had a guy I worked with, Hines. He said he came to me when he was a rookie, and the season had just started. And he was like, "Yo, mark it down." He's like, "Damian Lillard is that guy." I was like, "All right, I'm gonna check him out." And then from that point, from his rookie season, we've been watching him. And I tell her every time we talk, I'm like, "You was right, you was right." But the thing with Dame is, I think his loyalty is gonna mess up his legacy.
Yeah,
I think his loyalty is gonna mess up his legacy.
I agree with that.
He's gonna mess
Definitely agree
around.
with that. He had opportunity this season. Well, last season actually.
Yeah,
before he signed that
opportunities.
contract.
But when you play in those small market teams, them opportunities are like once every 15 years. Like it's not gonna come like Toronto. Unfortunately, like Toronto, we'll never see a Toronto in the finals again for I don't know when. But I don't see it within like the next 10 years. If they do it, it's crazy. But I don't
see Portland in the finals.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody wants to go to Portland.
I think another player, and we're gonna stay on track with Dame, who's going down that same rabbit hole, Bradley Beal.
Yep.
Bradley Beal's going
Another
down
player that did it too, Kemba Walker.
Yeah.
He messed it up being in Charlotte too long.
You turn that down, though.
Say again.
$1 million a year.
Who?
Dang.
You said how you turn the money down?
No, I said it's kind of hard to turn that down when you're thinking about like him being loyal. You say loyalty on him. But man, they're paying him $45 million a year, and he's a guy from out of Weber State.
But see, that's when you got to weigh it though. At the same time, because see, and we'll go back to Kobe. Kobe could stay in LA because it's LA. Like
It's a market.
It's a market. People are gonna come. So even if the organization, Kobe can play his hand and be like, all right, I'm leaving. Y'all gonna do everything in your power to keep Kobe because he's one of the best players on the planet.
He is LA.
Yeah. So you're gonna do everything in your power to keep so he can leverage that. You can't leverage anything in Portland. He's like, nobody's going to Oregon. Right.
It rains.
Yeah, like nobody's going to Port. So Dame being loyal, the money is out. You know how many people would trade for Dame? So the contract really ain't the issue at the end of the day. Because he could do what KD did. KD did a 1-year deal in Golden State, and let it stay open. So
it's the name base as far as he doesn't want his legacy or his career to be tarnished by
Teaming
being
up.
called, like, oh, you just dipped out on us. And
what his thing is, I don't need to team up with other people, but that doesn't work in an environment.
That's what the game is about.
Where everybody is teaming up, like
everybody's doing.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's why LeBron and Wade got together because Boston is.
Say again, see.
I'm sorry, no, I was saying they be teaming up to create that big market so they can get those max deals.
But it's not. It's not only that's to compete
Dame
too.
didn't need to team up with nobody because he got $246 million himself.
Well, now we're talking about what
Of course,
level
he
of
ain't gonna
importance.
win. Now, if we talking about like his
Facts.
winning, he ain't gonna win a ring unless he go to play with a superstar or something like that.
And that's what leads me to believe that.
Portland.
That's what leads me to believe that the average player in the NBA don't care about winning rings. It's only a handful.
He from Oakland, California, and he went to a small D1 school.
He worried about
in
money.
Major.
He's a great player. He gonna play his heart out.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day,
Hard out.
raising banners is not on his priority.
Raising banners is not on his priority,
But
bro.
everybody wants
He
to
got
be like Giannis
$246
now.
million in his NBA career, and he's 6'2".
And guess who else that is? Well, Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook.
He got bread.
Russell Westbrook is worried about money and
Dame's
fashion.
better than Westbrook.
Dame 10 times better.
Dame's better than Westbrook. He just he don't want to have that team up stigma, but you're not going to be a Golden State. You're not about to draft 3 players that's going to help you get there. You're not going to be like Giannis. You're not going to have a Chris Middleton that turns into a threat the way he has.
CJ ain't it.
Yeah, CJ his body keep breaking down.
CJ ain't it.
So it's like
And they too small.
They too small.
and it's too small. And so he's such a dynamic player that he should leave. He's gonna waste it. That's why I hate for Kemba. I love Kemba in Charlotte, but he stayed way too long.
I think Dame
Jordan was
is
there,
going
he
to come to
should've
his
left.
senses, though. I feel like he is.
But because he's a competitor, you say he's not. I think he is a competitor, and he's only gonna take. I think he's only gonna take 2 more years.
So I was about to say 2 seasons. I give him 2 seasons and he's out of there.
And he's out. You can't. If you're a
At
real
most.
competitor,
2
you're gonna
seasons at most.
you're gonna try the loyalty card, and I'm gonna do this by myself. But once you see
That's
people
stable.
winning, and you keep getting knocked out in the first round, because you got to remember they got to the Western Conference Finals that one year,
Got beat by Golden State.
and they ain't been back since. So now it's like
and you got to look at your time clock, too. How
Yep.
long you been in the league.
because he's what 27, 28 now.
Dame?
He's like 27.
30-something. Dame
Dame's
is like
30.
31, 32.
Really?
Dame is in his 30s.
Dame better get out of there. He better get to LA.
Yeah. He's like 31 or 32. I think he's
Yeah.
around my age.
I had no idea that man 31, 32.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, Marco Wright, 31.
He been in the
Yeah,
league
so
for a
he
minute.
don't got 2
31.
years. He don't got 2 years. He got he need to go if he trying to win at least.
Truth be told, he on the downhill now.
Because
Time to leave.
Of his
He
career.
missed his window.
yeah,
He missed his window.
he might have because you got to think about it. You got people like Devin Booker and Phoenix on the rise, and he is 27, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So
He has to team up with somebody, a team that's championship
that would actually be
oriented.
a good pickup.
Oh, Phoenix?
Phoenix.
Because Chris Paul's on his way out. So that would actually be a good pickup.
Yeah.
That would actually be a good
I
pickup.
think another good pickup would be Denver and playing with a Joker. You have a legit big man. And they made the playoffs, I believe.
I feel like that's just like going back to Portland.
Yeah.
Oh, him and Jamal Murray and Joker?
I feel like Jamal Murray would be out of there. I don't think both of them could be on the same team.
Yeah, I don't think Jamal Murray.
I don't see both of them on the same
Jamal
team.
Murray.
You can't send
have the
Murray to
ball.
Portland though.
You gotta have the ball. They couldn't play together.
I don't know. I think it could work, but maybe not.
But Dame is one of the. Where do y'all have him ranked as far as point guards in the league?
I really don't think we've been seeing enough of him this season so far.
I think it was like, what, a year ago we said it was Dame?
Well, people were talking crazy when
I know.
Steph went down and started saying that Dame was the best shooter. Like, I don't know where that conversation came from,
Caleb.
but that was out of
Caleb.
pocket.
I don't know. I don't recall that.
I'm not saying anybody. I don't remember somebody at the table said it, but I remember that conversation was coming up last year when Steph was out. That Dame is the best point guard.
remember.
Dame is the best shooting point guard,
remember.
and that was cap.
I remember.
Dame and Steph pretty much are the same player. They both shoot from 35, 40 feet. They both can score. They don't miss layups. Dame is a lot more athletic than Steph is, and they score at very high clips. So I'm not saying that I never say he was the best at point guard. I said that him and Steph were pretty much the same player until Steph, of course, begins to separate himself when they match up one-on-one. Dame always gives Steph 40.
But at that time that Steph was hurt, though, who was the best point guard in the league?
Steph wasn't hurt at this time. Steph wasn't hurt around these times. This is when they were dueling it out. Like, you would see Steph go from 40. That's because I think it was a clip that came off of TNT saying Dame or something like that because Steph couldn't do it at the time when y'all saying he was hurt. But I'm just saying, as far as like stature-wise, they both 6'3". They both can shoot. They both can score. Dame, they both got handle. Of course, Steph handle is better than Dame's, but they're along the same build as far as like attributes. Steph just does it at a very higher clip and a better rate.
I think Dame plays out of his natural ability. I think he's more
That's
so.
where the line draws there, and any comparison between Steph and Dame is as far as like they're the same stature, 6'3", can shoot, can score, don't miss layups.
One's more
Right.
athletic.
But Steph separates himself.
But that's the thing.
One's more athletic.
That's the thing. The one that's more athletic is not taking advantage of that.
Nope.
He's settling for that three for what reason? From 40 feet out.
Dame gets to the cup, bro.
Dame gets to the cup.
He can, but we're not seeing that. Like
I
we
think
should.
Dame.
Not like he used to.
I think he's trying to rely on the three to open up the inside more.
Why? I need you to attack the basket.
Yeah, I think he shoots the three more because if he makes one, now you push up on everything. Then he starts.
I think he's doing it because he want to last long in the league, which I ain't mad at that.
That's true too. That's true too.
Portland ain't never had a good.
Because he just got his first dunk the other night of the season.
Yeah, he did.
That was
did
a
see that.
highlight.
I saw that highlight.
That was a highlight.
I saw that highlight, yeah.
Oh dang! It was almost like breaking news. Like he got his first dunk of the season.
Yeah. What would you say? What'd you say, Caleb?
This man was in a dunk contest.
Like, with Dame, man, it's like we kind of knock him. Don't understand. He was ending people in playoff series, bro. Game 7. Like,
Nah,
OKC.
And all this goes back to my original statement. I feel like he's ruining his career by staying in Portland.
At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? You're going to learn your lesson. You either going to be forced out or you just going to be looking simple.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
Yeah. I feel like we can't end this podcast though without talking about Westbrook. It's like
Oh man.
We got 3 minutes left, or 2 minutes actually. In my opinion, he's a piece of garbage that you see in New York City in the corner.
and like my clip, maybe we'll talk about it next time. But I feel like Russell Westbrook would have been the greatest point guard, or could have been the greatest point guard of all time. But his mentality and his unwillingness to change took him out of that conversation. And that's where I stand with that. And we're seeing a result of that right now in LA.
Jay Bird.
It's so hard because OKC, I used to be a big time OKC fan. And seeing Westbrook going on this road is pretty tough, man. I'll be honest with you. Because it's weird, man. Just watching him go out, 10 turnovers, 7 turnovers a game. And it's just like, bro, why? I feel like sometimes he plays too hard. And he doesn't even have to. The game can be so easy for him. You have 5 Hall of Famers around you. 4 Hall of Famers around you. 4. You can make the game so easy, bro. But at the same time, man, you just don't know, man. Like, is it his time? Is it that time where
Let go.
is it let go? He's on a decline. I mean,
She
come
let
on.
go.
I'm being serious though,
That's
for
what
real.
Bo been
You in
talking
LA?
about.
You're in Showtime, LA, bro. You at the Staples Centers now, the crypto, whatever you want to call it. But at the same time, it's just like, bro, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy watching him do this every single night.
Caleb, because I know you're gonna have a lot to say on this one. If I'm Genie
Are
Bus,
we talking about Westbrook?
yeah,
Yes.
unfortunately,
No,
if
I'm
I'm
not gonna have much to say, man.
if I'm Genie Bus, and I'm sitting Russ down in front of me, I'm saying, "Hey Russ, look, man, we know why you came out here. You really came out here for fashion. We understand LA. You're a LA native. Fashion district's right down the street.
You on concerts, crip walking.
You know what I'm saying? You out here gang banging. You know what I'm saying? We think it's in your best interest to go ahead and just, you don't have to retire. You got enough money. We'll even pay you. We'll go ahead and pay you the rest of your long-term agreement, whatever you sign for. We'll pay it out. And just get gone.
Nobody wants him.
That's why I
He
said
can't go nowhere.
Nobody wants him.
Like I said, I've had the same argument about Westbrook for 10 years now. I used to argue with my barber in Florida about this. Westbrook he has his good nights, and he looked really good in OKC back in the day when he's by himself because he was literally by himself. So you could do everybody looks good when you can do whatever you want. But when it's time to win and you're in a good situation, that's going to determine what type of player that you actually are. And one of my favorite arguments I always bring, he missed his window in OKC with Kevin Durant because he didn't change. And I said the same thing for years. If he would have tightened up his efficiency, and I always bring it like LeBron and Wade did, where he's only shooting 14 to 16 times a game, but you're making over 60% of your shots, they would have won easily.
Say it.
They would have won easily, but he never changed. He never changed his game. Not saying they would have beat Miami. I'm saying they would have won in their conference.
No, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. The games would have been a lot easier. But you can't tell me that Westbrook, even when he's winning, like Caleb likes to say, the triple doubles and the numbers mean nothing because you're getting 40 points on 40 shots. You're not a good basketball player. Like, you're getting 40 points on 40 shots. You can't tell me that that's our MVP. We're giving this guy, he takes 30 shots a game to get 30 points, and he's that good. Like, no, you're not. You're just shooting the ball a lot.
Let's go ahead and let Caleb close this out with his argument, and we're going to wrap this up.
Like I said, man, I don't really have much of an argument to it. It's just besides, I believe that the Lakers are so bad that Russell Westbrook is the new guy. So everyone just decides to point all the blame into somebody who's led the league in turnovers for the last 6 years anyway. When he was in OKC for those years where he got majority of his accolades, the MVPs, the triple-doubles, is when he was accumulating for 87% player usage on the Oklahoma City Thunder. So if you're getting 7 turnovers and you got 12 assists, I mean, you're being used in the offense 88% of the time, which when at that time Oklahoma City, this is post-Kevin Durant, of course, is what I'm talking about. When Russell Westbrook was out there playing, bro, it was just him, okay? So that's how he was able to rise to be like, man, no, I'm gonna stay loyal to OKC. He won an MVP. He got
broke the record,
triple double record where they said it'll never be done again. He did it 4 times in his entire career. So like for him now to be 33 years old, coming into a situation where it's not his fault anyway, which he was brought into LA, of course, to bring energy to AD, who we all know plays lazy, who plays soft at different times of the game, and he flails around, and everyone questions him when he gets in the air, will he come down safe? So Westbrook gets into a situation, boom, we come into the preseason, we lose all our preseason games, we can't figure out lineups, our defense is horrible, we can't score. You know, we signed Trevor Reeves, he just played his first game a couple nights ago. Like, we're a bad team, and we put the blame on a guy who already the Lakers, when we had so many of our stars out last year, you know, when we were in 7th seed playing for a play-in, almost losing to Golden State, and then get bumped first round against Phoenix after we were up 2-0. Then AD gets hurt again. Then that's when we get swamped and we get cooked and we out of there. AD was supposed to be the commitment that we needed coming into this summer, taking care of his body, doing whatever he was supposed to do, hitting his shots. AD, I think, is shooting like 31% from three-pointer. Why is he still taking threes in general anyway? So a lot of the flack that they're giving Westbrook, tarnishing what he had to do by himself after KD in games 5, 6, and 7 of those games where they could have closed out Golden State, played completely horrible. We're in the last stretch of Game 5, the last 3 minutes and 24 seconds. I think KD was like 4 for 11 or 4 for 9. He missed 2 free throws and he had 3 turnovers. The ball came off the rim. KD's pushing. He abdicates to Russ. Russ was out on a break and he turns the ball over. They lose Game 5, lose Game 6 after another bad shooting night in the last 5 minutes of that game by KD. They lose that one, then they lose Game 7. And the next thing you know, KD leaves.
The same thing that
a lot of flack and a lot of
Just
bad
put it on
things
KD. I see.
Caleb, the same thing that you're praising Russ for doing with the 80% of being ball dominant in OKC is the same reason why we could blame Russ even more in LA. If he has not an AD out there while he's hurt, and he's used to being this ball dominant guy in OKC, we've seen him averaging all these great stats in OKC by himself.
Why can't he do it?
Why can't he do it in LA?
And that's the
He's 33.
I don't care. Bron's 37. Bron's 37, bro.
I understand, and Bron has missed more time in his career these last 2 years than anything.
Bro, that's a 4-year gap.
LeBron has been missing games, guys. He's getting older.
that's
But he's
our,
been there more present than AD, who's younger.
yeah.
I
That's
always pointed at the most obvious thing. But
Caleb, he's been there more than AD, and AD is 10 years younger than him.
yeah.
Bro,
So
you know who the Lakers got on the court right now, bro?
We got Russell Westbrook out there.
We got Malik,
Mr. Triple Double.
Carmelo Anthony, THT. We signed 2 centers for AD who don't even be playing. Like, bro, we are a bad team.
We agree. We agree you're a bad team, but we agree you're a bad team. But what we're saying is when you peel back the flesh of your team and you look at
Who's responsible?
you look at what is the root cause of this team, and this is one of my and this is one of my my intakes, my takes on it is Russell Westbrook. You just listed all his accomplishments that he had at OKC. He did that on a bad.
People are tarnishing it because of AD's lack of responsibility and accountability.
AD's not playing.
AD's not playing. Yeah. So
It's not even about AD.
yeah. So it's not about AD.
He's still dropping the ball and dropping the bag.
So this is my thing. When Russell Westbrook was averaging those numbers in OKC, he was doing it on a bad OKC team. They were a bad team, but he still got them to the playoffs. How are you on a better team roster-wise in name in LA, but you yourself, Russell Westbrook, are playing worse? That has nothing to do with AD. Russell Westbrook himself is playing bad. And then what makes it worse is Russell Westbrook is your point guard. So that means he has the ball. And what is the point guard's job? Regardless of what people want to say, he's a combo. I don't
leader.
care. Right. You run the team. So example, who y'all don't like, Chris Paul goes to a bad OKC team. But Chris Paul is a lead. He is a leader. So what does he do at the point guard position? We're going to play defense and we're going to get up the ball and we're going to score. He gets into the playoffs. Why can't Russell Westbrook say we're going to play defense and we're going to score? Why can't he influence the team that he has to actually get to the playoffs? To win a game. That's what I'm saying.
This is what Russell Westbrook's going to say. I'm tired of what Fizdale telling me to do. I'm tired of what Frank Vogel telling me to do. I'm going to do what I want to do.
You said what? You said, see, and this is another thing. You're saying that's LeBron's job. But when it's 2 superstars on the team, it's not one person's job. For example, in Miami, it wasn't just LeBron's job. There were days LeBron was yelling and there were days Wade were yelling. You get that off of respect of your work and who you are. Not it's his job.
I shouldn't have said nothing.
That is not his job. Because honestly, if he wasn't on LA, I feel like you wouldn't have this argument. You would say Russell Westbrook was bad. If he was on any other team, I feel like the fact that he's on LA, you're giving him a pass. But he's been bad. And my argument ain't changed. I've been having the same argument for 10 years. I thought he was bad when he was in OKC. So my argument ain't changed. So I'm not taking anything away from Russell Westbrook. Like you love to say, the numbers is cool. The triple doubles is cool. But at the end of the day, When it's time to win and you're in a winning situation, he's been playing bad. He's playing worse than he's ever played. That has nothing to do with the team. Individually, he's playing bad.
You brought up Chris Paul name every time when it comes down for Chris Paul to play in the championship game or get his team over there, he ends up hurt or he plays bad. So there's no difference, as I stated before, between Russell Westbrook and Chris Paul. Just because Chris Paul can go to a team and they go from being a 42-win team or a 30
When has Chris Paul ever led the league in turnovers?
Win team means nothing. Chris Paul has won nothing in his career.
When has Chris Paul ever led the league in turnovers?
Westbrook, he doesn't have any records like Westbrook. Of course, Chris Paul may be able to get it done, may score, hit some shots, get his team where he need to be. Last year, bro, it was no way that Phoenix should not have won that championship against the Milwaukee Bucks, bro. They were up 2 games.
I agree, but then at the same time, you can't discount Giannis. What Giannis did.
Chris Paul when he was in Houston.
You can't discount what Giannis did. You just try to discount what Giannis did. Giannis put on one of the greatest finals performances that you'll ever see in the NBA. I'm not even a Giannis fan, and Giannis went nuts. That has nothing to do with Chris Paul. That's Giannis. It dominated his will.
Are discrediting Giannis's ring because he's saying injuries and all of that.
Who?
Even talking about
Who said that?
50 points. Bro, that's how the narrative is.
Nobody said that narrative. The narrative is Giannis played one of the greatest finals that we've ever seen. I've never heard nobody discredit his ring.
Hold on. Giannis just came off of doing the exact same thing of what we just talked about. Had a great finals appearance, finals MVP, put up 50 points and 15 rebounds, and the narrative for that summer was KD was the best player in the league.
How do we get? How are we getting on that? Please tell me. How did we get there?
We just seen what Giannis.
How?
I've never put KD.
I've never put that.
I never said that.
I've never said that.
I haven't even seen that narrative, to be honest. I've seen that this year. I didn't see that last year.
It must have been Shannon Sharp.
No, I seen that this year. I didn't see that last year. That KD was better than Giannis. Giannis was clearly the better player last year.
Yeah. Giannis just put the Brooklyn Nets out after they were already up 2 games and nothing on the Bucks. Then here comes Giannis. He wins the Finals MVP. He's the youngest he's 26 years old, I think. He already got defensive players in defensive players.
Last year he was better than KD. Is he better than KD right now? I don't think so.
How do we get on KD?
And then this was my whole point. After that whole thing when we transitioned from Westbrook to Chris Paul to now into saying that Giannis in the whole KD situation. Giannis came off of 50 and 15. Nobody talked about it. They said KD was the best in the league. That's why I don't buy into all of this stuff that they putting on Russell Westbrook saying.
We talked about it. I don't understand what you're saying. We talked about it.
They putting out a narrative on my man, and nobody's praising Westbrook for anything, and we're still
I didn't know that was your man's, man.
position in the playoff spot. If the playoffs were to start today, we'd be in the 7th seed, just like we were last year.
It's confusing, right?
Bro, we've been friends for how long?
It's confusing.
Never heard.
It's confusing, right? Because I can remember us in the gym. I can remember us in the gym working out. He was going in on Westbrook, right?
He was main one right here going in.
How bad the Lakers are, bro, and they gonna blame Westbrook.
Yo, Caleb, we're confused because now you're saying Westbrook is your man's, but we was in the gym working out, and
Mo
you had
has
nothing
sticked
positive
to his narrative
to say
about
Westbrook.
how bad Westbrook's been.
I appreciate
I like Westbrook, man. I'm a Westbrook fan. I am.
When have you ever said that, Caleb?
He play hard. He's not
it's only
afraid
been
to speak
recent.
up.
It's only been recent.
Only been recent.
It's only since he went to LA.
Playing politically correct.
It's only been since he's been to LA.
Bro, hold up. Me, Caleb, and Mo went to watch the Lakers versus the Rockets when James Harden and Russell Westbrook were playing together, and they were playing in the bubble. We watched that game. I was sitting there with them two at the round table. Both of them was going for the Lakers. Mo yabbing how bad Russell Westbrook is. Caleb sitting right there agreeing with Mo as well. So I'm so confused to how did Caleb get?
I agree.
Bro, when did this? Bro, come on, Caleb.
Because I remember us in the
I've
gym.
never heard you
about
say this
Westbrook.
before.
When you say I agree, what are you saying I agree to? That he was playing bad?
Playing bad, Caleb. The fact that about how bad Westbrook was playing with the Rockets. And bro, you never, when
he's playing the Lakers, he played a horrible game. Hey, and he got a shot punched against the glass.
Plenty of times. I think it was like 3 times.
It was a lot. It was every game.
Yeah, it was like 3
It
times.
was every game.
I didn't bash him saying he was horrible. He had a horrible game. He was playing against the Lakers.
Okay, so all right. So if that's bothering you, hold on. Let us classify what we say when horrible. Westbrook is an above average player, but there's a level he should be playing at. He's horrible. Okay, so we're talking about Westbrook. We're not talking about him like he's just
as a superstar.
Yeah. We're talking
superstar.
We're talking about him as a superstar. Okay, so that may be the confusing part where we're getting at because
that's really generous.
We all think Mo doesn't think so.
Mo doesn't believe he's a superstar.
I think he's a superstar. Mo doesn't think so. I think he's a superstar. At the level he's supposed to be playing at as a superstar, he is horrible.
I'm saying, like, who are you comparing him to? I asked this question the other day. Who can you compare Russell Westbrook to?
Who do we have to?
Why do we have to compare it to anybody?
Who you comparing to playing bad to? Like, what do you mean?
You playing bad? You playing bad
as an individual person? There's nobody to compare. That's on you.
The whole entire team is playing bad, bro. It's not just because of Westbrook. And of course, I'm not discrediting the fact that he has egregious plays throughout the games. Yes, some plays that he makes are completely terrible and not basketball at all. Okay, I understand that part. But, bro, the Lakers are a bad team.
Okay.
They're not a bad team just because of Russell Westbrook.
Let me say this.
We can't stop nobody. We can't score.
Facts.
We have no depth. We're trash. Like, I mean.
So when y'all had all those bad teams with Kobe on it, when could we ever say that Kobe played bad?
Stop even mentioning Kobe's name.
I knew he was gonna say that.
See, so we can't have a valid argument with you because we're talking about Kobe, who is he's in the GOAT conversation, but we're talking about Kobe, who was a superstar. Even though he was on a bad team in LA after Shaq and them left, Kobe never played bad. There was never a year that any of us came out and said Kobe is horrible.
30 shots to get 30 points, bro. It was some nights when Kobe took 30 shots to get 30.
That's because Kobe.
When he may have had 7 turnovers.
Because Kobe had nobody on his team, though.
Let's not do that.
Kobe literally.
He ain't never had no more than
Let's not do
5
that
turnovers.
now.
Now think about it.
It wasn't like that was an every night thing. We're not gonna say that like it was an every night thing, and we're not gonna say like Kobe at the time wasn't the only scorer on his team in LA. There was no other scorer on the bad years of LA. There was no other scorer but Kobe. Y'all were not scoring unless Kobe scored.
4 to 6 years.
Who was scoring on LA? Who was scoring on LA besides Kobe after Shaq left? Please tell me another scorer that y'all had on y'all team until Lamar Odom and Pau Gasol got there. So Kobe,
It was nobody. And even when they showed up, they played their roles.
okay, so comparing Kobe shooting 30 points to get 30 does not compare to Russell Westbrook because they would not score unless Kobe scored.
I didn't even bring that comparison up, Elijah. I didn't even bring Kobe's name into this.
No, you just said Kobe. You said some nights Kobe took 30 shots to get 30 points.
Because you brought Kobe into a situation
But-
when I'm talking about Westbrook.
No, and what I'm saying is I just used your favorite player for an example. Kobe on the bad teams, we can never say Kobe played bad. We never. Or even when he was on a bad LA team. So Westbrook is on a bad LA team right now. Why can we say that you're playing bad? Let's use another player. The Portland. Damian Lillard is on a bad team, but we can't say Dame is playing bad.
Said that we had nobody to compare Westbrook to, so why are we bringing in comparison?
We're talking about the
I
fact.
just said, who can we compare Westbrook to? Y'all said you can't compare Westbrook to nobody. So don't bring in Kobe.
You're right. You're absolutely right, Kat. We can't.
About Westbrook.
No, he's right.
Y'all
You
said
can't bring nobody else. You can't bring Kobe in.
The reason the
You're
Lakers
right.
are bad, but he's led the league in turnovers over the last 4 or 6 years. That's not a good thing, but it doesn't bring any loss to the Lakers because we're bum anyway. We're shooting terrible from 3. We can't stop nobody from playing. We can't even figure out lineups. We can't even figure
Caleb,
out
you're
lineups.
absolutely right, man. We can't compare Westbrook to anybody else in the league because ain't nobody doing what he's
The only
doing.
other person you can compare Westbrook to is Oscar Robinson because he did something.
Well, you're talking about the great stuff.
We're
We're talking about the great things of basketball. There's nothing to say great about Westbrook in this present day
I
right
wasn't
now.
comparing to a player. It was an analogy talking about individual performance.
We know what you mean.
I know what
It
you
was
meant.
about individual performance.
I know what you meant.
But I'm saying
There's
that
nobody else in the league that's
that
averaging
means- I just said
double-digit
we can't compare him to somebody
turnovers.
like Oscar Robinson.
We're talking about his
Oscar Robinson was averaging 12 turnovers a game to get triple double. We don't know, but we still call him a great, right? We still call
Nobody's saying Westbrook is not a great. We're saying he's horrible though. Nobody's saying he's not a great. We are saying he's horrible.
I can't defend bad basketball, especially with a poor attitude.
You can't say that.
I can't support bad basketball with a poor attitude about it either. And then when you're asked about it by media,
So it's personal.
You have it-
taking it personal than basketball.
it's team basketball at the end of the day, Caleb. If I'm your teammate and you tell me, hey, it's all good, I don't have a problem with my 10 turnovers and I want to win the game, I'm going to have an issue with you.
We don't know what's being talked about in the
You
locker
have
room.
an issue with him in the locker room.
We have no
Absolutely,
idea.
I'm going to have an issue with him in the locker room. Hey, bro, tighten up. You better tighten up. If I'm Bron especially,
Exactly.
if I'm LeBron James and I'm telling my teammate who obviously does not care based off of what he says post-game or pre-game, hey, Genie, get him the heck out of here. Get him out of here. He doesn't care. He puts himself first before his team. And you can't tell him when he's wrong because then he going to take it personal.
I haven't seen another
Y'all
superstar.
taking it way.
No, I haven't seen another superstar that even though they're on a bad team, they're playing bad. That's what I'm talking about. He's playing bad individually. He's bad.
Exactly. So he's the easiest target
No.
to point out because he's the worst on the bad.
But it's when your
a
superstar is
superstar.
playing,
He's
You're a superstar.
is playing bad.
You are a superstar and you're playing this bad. Of course, the attention is going to be on you.
We're not going to say this about Kenyon Martin Jr. If he's playing bad, he's not a superstar. We barely know him.
We don't care about THT playing bad. He's done nothing in the league.
He's trying to stay in the league.
He doesn't. He's not. He's never been a player to carry the burden of a team. Westbrook has. He's playing
You
bad.
had such a great start at the beginning of your career, and now we playing it like, we can't expect this much of him.
Because Bron's playing well, missing a few games, watching all of this stuff happen, and then he's still playing, and he's the best player on the floor, and it still go to Westbrook. It still go to Westbrook. It ain't gonna go to
LeBron ain't averaging.
I'm not gonna blame LeBron because LeBron is not playing bad.
He's actually putting up the best numbers on the team.
Bron is doing what Bron needs to do. Okay.
And why ain't Westbrook
He's doing
that?
everything. So why am I gonna blame
He's doing
LeBron?
Russell's
He's
job.
literally doing
He's
everything.
AD's job. He's
Very
doing
well.
Bron's job.
Just answer that question.
I'm gonna ask this question. Russell Westbrook, right now, okay, y'all dated and carbon dated, went back through the archive of all the triple doubles that he had, right? Was he playing well?
No.
Was he playing well in those triple doubles?
No.
Okay, so after the triple doubles and he went to Houston and he went to Washington, is he playing any better than he was, or is he playing the same?
If anything, he got worse.
He's playing worse.
Is he playing? You know what I'm saying? Is he playing the same, or when he been playing his whole career?
No, he's actually playing worse.
Playing worse.
He's playing worse.
Saying that he hasn't changed, right?
He's gotten worse, so that is a change.
Y'all saying he hasn't changed as far as a player. So he's been playing the same his entire career.
He hasn't gotten better.
Now,
I know he's trying
if
to go
Bron is still playing well, Westbrook is doing the exact same thing he's done all his career, and so has AD been doing the same thing his whole career. Can't play more than 50 games in a season. He's soft as he could be. He's
Why are we
out.
blaming
Westbrook
Westbrook?
comes in and he's playing terrible.
And I'm glad because we know where you're going with this, and I'm glad you're going there
We're
because
a losing team.
we're losing anyways.
Losers.
Why are we putting the blame?
Moment until we get things shifted around with lineups, players.
We already losing. Why are we blaming Westbrook anyways? Well, why did we label him a superstar like I've been saying from the get-go?
We brought in losers, bro. We brought in people that lose. Melo ain't won nothing his whole career.
So why are we so
Now you
hyped
gotta
about? Why are
talk
you so
about it.
hyped about Westbrook if he was a loser?
I'm not saying Westbrook is a loser in this situation.
We brought in losers, like you just said.
Yeah, we did. We brought in people that lose. Melo has not won. Westbrook has not won. These guys have won nothing.
So I'm confused as to why he's getting a little bit more grace than for you.
Of how Westbrook has been playing, we automatically now are accustomed to just blaming him for an already bad situation.
Because I'll say this.
Y'all saying he a superstar.
I know. No, I'm not.
Most not. I say he is.
I say he is.
I say he is. And
has potential to be.
and to your point.
And now you want to discredit his triple double.
Nobody.
So and you want to give him superstar status? Bro, make up your mind. Which one is he?
He is a superstar.
He is a superstar. We've been saying he's a superstar.
He is a superstar.
Okay, so he's a superstar and he's playing bad right now. Have superstars never played bad?
Not to the extent that he's playing.
How many games have we played in the season?
This is not just this season, though, Caleb. He didn't get anybody better like he said he does in that post interview in Washington. Him and John Wall could not play together. He's poor in Houston.
So he's playing horrible as a superstar right now.
He
right?
ruined Carmelo Anthony's career. He got KD up out of OKC. He's had superstars around him.
Career. No, don't put that on Westbrook.
He's been a bozo his whole career.
Man, ain't nobody trying to play with Westbrook, bro.
Career when he was instructed not to go sign $100 million long term with the Knicks, he did, and that was supposed to be him in Miami instead of Chris Bosh. But he was the one who signed the deal.
Yeah, it's facts.
Melo was supposed to be in Miami.
Melo, yeah.
Bron didn't want to play with Melo back
right there, bro.
He did.
I'm sticking by that.
He did.
He got blackballed because he was supposed to be the one winning rings with Bron. Banana boat minus CP3. Let's get these rings. Like
to your point, why would even blame Westbrook more? Is because at no point in LeBron's career has he played with another superstar and they can't get over that. Westbrook is so bad that he negates LeBron James' good play. There's never been another player that LeBron has played with that plays so bad that it negates everything he does on the floor.
And they started 9-8. They started 9-8 when Bron first got there in 2011, and they lost. This is Westbrook's first year in LA, bro. And of course, like I say, it's no discredit to the fact of how he's playing. It's
don't compare Westbrook and Bron to Wade and Bron. Don't do that. Don't do that because you'll lose that. You'll lose that so fast. Don't do that at all because Westbrook ain't never been on that level.
Move Westbrook.
Caleb, there has never been another player that LeBron has played with that plays so bad that it negates the work LeBron does on the floor.
Come on, man. Cut that out, bro.
Am I lying? LeBron is putting up numbers that he would have put up in Cleveland with Kyrie, that he would have put up with Wade in Miami, and they would have put up with Cleveland. And he's losing games by 20.
See, you just literally said Westbrook, what he does on the court negates anything LeBron does.
I said we've never seen that.
Did you see the last play of the last game we had the other night, bro? Westbrook was open, and they chose not to throw the ball to him, and we turned the ball over and didn't even get a shot off.
Why would you do that unless he's bad? Why would you do that unless he's bad?
We do that at the rec all the time.
I was say that, yeah, like
we do that at the park or at the rec all the time. You gonna pass? You're not gonna pass it to Rip. No disrespect if you watch this Rip, but if you got Rip in the corner three.
That's my cousin.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, that's my cousin. Yeah.
You gonna pass it to Jay Bird before you pass it to Rip.
Fact.
I seen Rip hit game-winning shots, bro.
That is a lie. That's a bold face lie.
I've never seen it.
I've seen him hit. I've seen him hit one or two, but they were not. 5. But it was not wanted, or we did not want it to happen, and he just did it on his own, and it happened to go in.
Playing against who though?
We was in the rec sometimes. He did every once in a while.
You never see
every once in a while.
Huh? Remember Jack?
Oh my God.
Jack hit. Were you there, Caleb?
Nah, Caleb wasn't there Wednesday.
Okay.
Rip plays D. That's it. That's what he'll do.
He's a
He'll
hustler.
He hustle.
That's what Westbrook do. He sprint down the court,
but
and he turned the ball over.
Nah, he ain't no game winner though.
Rip take a couple shots, and I got 12, and we lose. Just because he took a shot doesn't mean the reason why we lost.
Nah, definitely not.
No, we're not saying that. We're saying what he did during the course of the game.
But if Rip has the ball in his hands the majority of the game and making turnovers, I'm blaming Rip.
If you hold the ball, if you hold the ball,
that's Westbrook right now.
Why are you
legit Westbrook?
Why are you ball dominant if you have other ball handlers over here that are better than you? Why do you have the ball 87% of your team of the time?
Who's handling the ball better than Westbrook and LeBron?
Who?
You said what?
Who's gonna be handling the ball besides Westbrook and Bron? Y'all saying there's people better? Who?
Rondo was on your team, but y'all got rid of him.
Got rid of him. THT.
He wasn't playing. Who else?
THT, Malik Monk. They're all guards.
He's not a point guard.
Monk not a guard. Monk not a. Well, he's a.
I think we do sometimes utilize THT as guard. Well, we got rid of our other one.
Y'all got rid of Rondo.
There's nobody. That's what I'm trying to get people to understand. There is nobody. The other two people that are on our bench, bro.
So we need to trade for Ben Simmons.
DeAndre Jordan and Dwight Howard. We got the other Antetokounmpo brother. Other than that, we have no more guards, fellas. Besides Malik Monk, we have none.
So that makes it okay to have 10 turnovers a game.
That's what I'm saying. So
That's what I'm saying.
So is this an excuse?
that's an
Are
excuse?
we excusing a point guard for playing
A
bad
leader.
because
Giving him
because there's
triple-double
nobody
leader.
else on the bench.
MVP.
We're praising bad basketball because of his name.
I can't praise bad.
No, you're giving an excuse to a point guard having 10 turnovers because there's nobody else sitting on the bench. That's crazy.
No, the turnovers are there because, one, we have guys that can't catch the ball and they cannot shoot.
That's a lie. That's a lie. There's highlight tapes of Russell Westbrook jumping off his feet and throwing the ball nowhere. That's like PG 101.
Driving into the paint and kicking out to a 3 for a turnover.
Point, coach. Great.
Come on, man. Caleb, and you a coach, Caleb?
Who got 3 offensive
I can't.
rebounds and passed it to 3 different guys that all missed in the same possession. That's Westbrook's fault. That's LeBron's fault. LeBron got an offensive rebound 3 times, threw it out, brick, threw a knock it out, brick, threw a layup, brick. We are bad because we have no depth. We have nobody to coach. There's a misrip in the.
So that's the reason why.
Okay, so let's not talk about the Lakers.
They don't know what to listen to Frank Vogel, and then they take everything Westbrook say out of context when they get on the interview, saying, "Well, I mean, I'm trying to listen to what this coach tell me to do. I'm trying to listen to what Fear's gonna do right now, man. I'm gonna just do what I need to do, and that's just play my game. That's just playing this game. Not having everybody on this.
How do you take that?
Show right
How do you take that out of context?
Yeah, you can't take that out of context.
How do you, Caleb? How do you take that out of context? He bold-faced said, "I'm tired of what Frank is telling me. I'm tired of what Fizz is telling me to do. I'm just going to go do what I want to do."
People telling him what to do, bro.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're telling your coaches are telling you how to win games. I'm sorry.
There's no loyalty in the coaching staff. Why do you think Fizz came to LA, bro? It's Bron. Bron is watching all of this stuff, man, just figuring out his chessboard to last long enough to play on the court with his son. Okay? Like, he tried to give AD the keys. AD is Mr. Glass. He can't last.
You see, you want to blame AD. That's what it is. You want to blame AD, so you're passing the buck off of Westbrook playing bad.
AD not even playing.
Mortgage the farm, Elijah. We got rid of all our draft picks, all our youth to bring in Anthony Davis. We traded for AD to bring him to LA for him to be the successor to Bron, to wear the crown. Let's get us back to championship contending place, man. He does not grab the bull by the horns. He comes back off the offseason the exact same way, heavy, out of shape, can't make no shots, and he's out. He's hurt. You got to understand, bro, Bron signed a 4-year deal with the Lakers. That's long-term with the hopes that AD is able to get we able to bring more pieces in with AD. Bron can retire, and the Lakers still be on top. But now, bro, it took us 8 years between winning a ring between 2002 and 2020. I'm sorry. That's what, 12 years? What was our last ring?
2010.
2020.
2008.
19.
It was 02, so that what, 8 years? 2010. Then we come back.
Say it one more time.
Until now,
Kobe's last win.
Oh, Kobe's last.
10 years out of being
His last ring?
championship contender.
2010.
With
2010,
no Bron, with no AD, no draft picks. Bro, we about to be bummed for another 15, 16 years if we don't win another ring.
What,
We're gonna be bummed with Westbrook.
what does that have to do with the play?
time.
What does any of that have to do with the play of Russell Westbrook?
The reason why it's the play of Russell Westbrook, because if AD is balling out, then we wouldn't even be noticing what Westbrook is doing. He'd be doing
Yes, he's playing so bad you can't help but notice
getting
it.
his triple doubles, getting his rebounds, playing hard. But Bron, no, when it comes down to it, Bron will be getting the ball to AD, everybody else spread out. But we can't execute that because we're missing a piece, bro. And if it doesn't work, now we're at the drawing board. We're saying, okay, we got to move this piece. We got to move that piece. We got to bring so-and-so in. Like, come on, man. This stuff is like, it's a business, bro. This ain't just sport. They brought Russell Westbrook in to become trade bait. But when AD went down, Westbrook has to play the...
We definitely didn't say any of this when the trade first happened.
He's playing the horrendous basketball he's playing currently, so now we have no asset in Russell Westbrook no more. So we got.
That's not LA's fault. That's not the organization's fault.
That has nothing.
Nobody's
to do
setting
with
him
AD.
up.
Nobody
is setting him up.
That's an individual play.
I'm not gonna catch the ball on purpose.
Nah, I ain't going for that one.
The rim is gonna close up.
It's just That's how the cookie crumbled. That's how the plan fell together. It was supposed to be AD being the main guy. He's not available. Then Bron misses games. Then it's left to Westbrook and a bunch of throwaway guys.
So when did you detect that?
Nobody say.
What does we just sat here and talked about how Steph came back and his team was better because Steph was playing better. So
because Steph is an MVP. Steph is a champion. He's not in the same atmosphere or stratosphere as Russell Westbrook. That's the two differences. Why are we even trying to make that an argument? Steph is the all-time three-point leading champion. He was the first unanimous MVP of all time. He revolutionized the game from the NBA all the way down to youth sports. Should I keep going to see the difference between Westbrook?
no, you should stop because we're talking about individual play. We're talking about individual play. How does Steph coming back and play? His team is playing better with a worse team. We're talking about an individual. You keep talking about the organization. You keep talking about AD. You keep talking about who we don't have. What does that have to do with Westbrook putting his own sneakers on, getting on the court, and playing well?
Efficiently.
So y'all saying he hasn't been playing well. Again, I'm going to go back to the timeline. Westbrook is doing the same thing he did when he was in OKC by himself. The reason why people aren't playing with him because they feel a little selfish, but he's doing the same thing he's been doing his entire career. I said I bring this part up about the organization.
He's not doing anything he did in LA
team
as he did with
right
OKC.
now is because the plan
By
when we
himself.
came back out of the situation where
He's played the same, but he was playing better in OKC.
AD was supposed to be the main guy and reason why Bron mortgaged the farm to bring him to LA in the first place. If AD is not available, then we have to be left with Westbrook, which we already know it was a gamble anyway because we needed him as trade bait. He's playing horrible because we don't have AD in place. Bron has missed games, and we don't know who's to play on the court. We don't know what defensive lineups are the best. We don't know who has our best scoring lineup. We don't know our three-point shooter lineup because we don't have it. And we're about 40 games into the season. And we want to blame Westbrook for something that we don't even have a plan for.
Everything is not about mortgaging our youth. Because if you notice with LA basketball, it don't matter who you are. If you're considered an all-star or a superstar, if you're not playing well, you will get out of there. Look at Andre Drummond. We brought him in to be a twin tower with AD. Of course, AD was hurt. He was not playing up to our expectations.
Right.
And he got up out of there. That has always been LA basketball. Kobe was ready to get who up out of there? Kwame Brown, not playing well.
Yep.
You can get it. You can get it too.
That's true.
You can get up out of there. It don't matter. It's not about Bron having his prowess on LA. Bron want to win a ring, and he wants to do it for LA, as he should. So if Russell Westbrook is not playing well, guess what's going to happen to Russell Westbrook?
Yeah, out of there.
You're going to get gone. Even though we might be friends in the offseason on All-Star game, you're going to get gone if you're not playing up to the expectation.
Y'all don't think he'll trade AD?
Absolutely, if he does not play well.
They would trade it.
He was not meant there. He's not meant there. Like you keep saying, to be there when he retires. He's supposed to be the
They
next
would
thing.
trade AD. If they could find a viable trade, they would trade
AD will get the boot in a heartbeat.
That's all I'm trying to make the point to.
Nobody's safe.
Point that Westbrook.
The only one who's safe is LeBron.
That same conversation of being on a chopping block, bro.
Anybody can be on the chopping block.
He's not doing what he was supposed to do.
Anybody is available to be put they neck placed on that chopping block, except for Bron.
Bron, if you with Bron, you up for grabs.
Only person who was safe in LA because he's the best player in the world is LeBron. Anybody else will get slaughtered.
Easy. AD.
So Westbrook,
Who you are.
if people have labeled you as a superstar and Bron brought you in, you're going to be left on a hanger if you're not playing well.
triple doubles, winning games.
I'm not hearing none of that stuff like, hey, man,
Should be
I
that
averaged
easy.
a triple-double. The ball was in my hand in OKC for 91% of the time. I was doing great numbers. Well, where is that at now? I ain't seeing it. You got to go. Only thing I noticed is these
Two
turnovers.
different teams.
You've been saying he's doing the exact same thing that he did in OKC.
I feel like it should be easy.
No, he's not.
I feel like it should
That's
be
what y'all
easier.
should be basing his bad playoff on.
You playing with the
The
best.
game should be
you
coming
playing
to
with
you.
one of the best players in the NBA
Playing
history.
with the best.
The game should be coming to you.
You're on your team. The
You
team.
playing with one of the best guys.
All you got to do is dish the
The-
rock.
That's all you got to do. Dish the rock. You missed a triple double, right?
You doing too much. You shooting the ball. You've never been an efficient shooter. You're not as athletic as you used to be. So when you go through the lane, you're missing dunks.
He's not playing smart.
You're not playing smart.
He's not playing smart.
You're
at
not
all.
even
smart.
hitting the backboard on
not
bank
Not
shots.
being a true point guard.
Not playing smart at all.
And you're not being a leader.
The Russell Westbrook that we all know is not. This is not it. This is not the same Russell that we know.
That we all know. Y'all just say he been doing this.
No,
But
he's
he's
been saying
playing
he's
worse.
getting
He's
worse.
worse. It's bad. It's so bad.
His play style is
This
the
ain't the same as an OKC.
His play style is the same, but it's worse. Like he is playing worse. We're saying his play style is the same. We're saying his play style is the same, but he is playing worse. His play style is the same. He is playing worse.
Ever since
he
he's
has
been
not
traded.
changed how he's played the game of basketball.
Ever
But
since he's
he
been
has
traded from OKC,
but he's
it's
been playing
it's
worse.
been bad, and we all know that.
Hey, he's on a decline. That doesn't happen to people.
He's been on the decline.
I don't understand, bro.
Right, you're on a decline. Okay, if you're on a
Westbrook is not entitled to a decline. He's been on 3 different teams.
we're not saying that though, Caleb. We're just saying that is for you to be on an LA team.
Decline, yo.
An LA team that is literally has what 4 Hall of Famers. It should be easier for you, and you playing with LeBron James.
I'm not even a huge Chris Paul fan, but he's on the
Lakers,
decline.
bro, we had Gary Payton.
He ain't playing worse though.
And he's not playing
He's
worse.
not playing worse
Chris Paul, ain't he leading the league
He's
in
being
assists right now?
consistent.
as always.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, Chris Paul is declining, but he's not playing worse.
Okay, that's fine, bro. Like, what's your favorite word? Anomaly?
No, that's not an anomaly.
Right?
That's not it.
Anomaly?
That's not an anomaly.
Great. But I'm saying Westbrook, he's on a decline. We can't base none of what he's doing now on his OKC years. We have to base what he's doing now on what he was doing in Houston and what he was doing in Washington. That's when he started to decline, bro. But when he was in OKC, he was at the top of his game, dunking on niggas, out to the break, locking up.
On a decline.
Athletic. He had Chesapeake Energy Arena live, whiteout, playoffs. Come on, man.
When KD was there.
Westbrook, and then he had his running mate, his other role player guy, KD, who was like, hey, he was scoring, doing whatever he had to do, got his MVP out in OKC. But when it came down for him to actually be where he needed to be, for them to win the ring, couldn't have been done. So what? That's why he said in the interview, was like, hey, man, like, I ain't won a ring, but where I'm from, I made it, you know? Like, that's horrible to say when we're still in the championship hunt. Don't get me wrong. But
Yeah,
it's
that's
the simple
terrible.
fact that, like, yo, we can't just keep putting what he's doing now on his OKC years, tarnishing his career just because he found his way on a bad Lakers team at this moment. That's unfair to do. That's unfair to do.
We hear you, my brother. We hear you, my brother. Look, we're going to go ahead and wrap this thing up. We are 41 minutes over. Actually, about an hour and a half over.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Or an hour over, I should
plenty
say.
of clips.
It's good talks though.
Yeah, man. I had a great time,
always.
man. Like I said, we've been on a hiatus for almost 2 years. And
Dang, that's
just
a
glad
lot.
we could come back in
sir.
person.
It's all
So
love, too, man. It's just arguments.
yeah, man.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
we can't wait to have you and Tim in person. Once you get past that health and safety protocol, and Tim gets back
Yeah.
from Carolina, North Kakalaki. But we do have a couple of sponsors we want to shout out. We got Strangers and Exiles, my brother over here, E. McGee. It's also brought to you by my gym right here at Barco's Fitness Club, and we got Vision Academy, and we also got Clear Path Studios. Anybody else want to shout out anything?
Oh, good.
I'm good.
Yeah, man. Definitely want to shout out Vision Academy. Doing a lot of things, man. Just trying to get these kids nice, get people trained up. Barco's Fitness Club, man. Everything's on its way up. Appreciate, man. Strangers and Exiles. I appreciate that, man. I listen to those devotions a lot. So I appreciate you keep bringing those forward. And Justin, my boy, man. Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate
All
you.
right, my brother. We're going to wrap this up, man. We on this episode 1. 2022 kicking it off.
Yep.
2022.
The kickoff.
The kickoff. We out of here. We go catch y'all next time.
All right, peace.
All right, peace.